YouTube. Today we're going to be canning in pint jars some boneless, skinless chicken thighs and legs. And basically, usually these run about $2 to $3 in the store, at the store that I shop at, and I got them on sale for $1 a pound. So I don't know if you can see that, but I got them on sale for $1 a pound. So I went ahead and bought about 30 pounds, and we're going to go ahead and can that today. Now the great thing about these boneless, skinless chicken thighs and legs, they're seasoned for fajitas. And so when you're canning, usually you have to add the salt to do your canning, and when you can, especially if you're doing a hot pack, there's really not a lot of flavor in that meat. And the great thing about the fajita seasoned ones is when you put it in the hot water to go ahead and pre-cook it a little bit, you have the ability to maintain a lot of that flavor because it's so rich in flavor. And sometimes when you cook it by themselves, they're really, really salty. But when you put it in the water and you pre-cook it, it's going to get rid of a lot of that salt, but it's going to put it in the jars when you're using it as the hot liquid, and it's going to make these chicken pieces super delicious. And the reason that is because they've already been marinating for weeks and weeks and weeks in their bags. And so when you cut it up into small pieces, you put it in the hot water, and then you put it into the jars, it's going to come out tasting delicious. And then another thing that I like about this skinless, boneless chicken thighs and legs is that this meat tastes a lot better coming out of the can. I don't know if you guys have ever tried canned chicken, but a lot of times it's dry and it doesn't have a lot of flavor. So when you do the dark meat tastes much, much better. Yeah, it has a little bit more fat, but it's boneless, skinless. You're going to take any residual fat that's left on there, you're going to cut that off and throw it away, and you're just going to be left with the flavor and the tenderness of dark meat. So first what we're going to do, we're going to open up the bags, we're going to cut off any excess fat, and then we're going to throw it over here in our large vat that has hot water on it. Alright, so we have our bags of chicken here, and what we're going to do is just go ahead and cut them open. Okay, and there inside you see your beautiful dark meat that's already pre-seasoned, so you don't have to add any salt to your jars. Okay, so what they'll do is you'll just take out any kind of fat, any kind of excess fat that you have. Just go and cut that off. And what it's going to do is going to leave you with nice, wonderful, lean meat that tastes wonderful, that is nice. And the great thing is since they've already taken it off the bone, you're not paying for those bones that you're not going to use. All you're getting is meat here, so it's really, really good. So when you get pieces, just go and throw it in the bowl until we're ready to put it all together into the pan, because you don't want one piece cooking more than another, so that some of it's overcooked and some of it's undercooked. So you got your pieces of meat here. Just go ahead and cut them up into small pieces, probably like 1-inch cubes. Because the great thing is you're going to put this in the can, you're going to cook this up, and right when you pull it out of the can, you're going to be able to eat it with anything. You can eat it right out of the can, or you can warm it up. You can use it in chicken salad. You can use it in chicken spaghetti. You can use barbecue chicken sandwiches. You can do any of that. And the great thing is it's never burnt. It's never overcooked. All because you're taking the opportunity to go ahead and can it. Okay, so go ahead and cut it in 1-inch cubes. Go ahead and do it however much that you're going to do. I'm going to do about 30 pounds, so after I get that all cut up and put in the bowl, we'll go ahead and go on to the next step. Alright, so we got our first 15 pounds of chicken all diced up into 1-inch squares. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put it in slowly into our boiling water. And what this is going to do is, one, it's going to partially cook it through. It's going to have the salt that the jars need. Alright, so go ahead and get it in there. Start stirring it up so that it doesn't stick to the bottom. And what you want to do is you want to get it all in the pan so that it cooks through. And we're going to get it jarred up so that we can start pressure canning it. Alright, so you're stirring it up so that it can partially cook through. And what you're going to do is you're going to have it in the boiling water for probably about maybe 3 to 4 minutes. Alright, so we've gone ahead and filled the jars. Now what you want to do is you want to go ahead and fill it up with the hot brine liquid that we already got going from the juices of partially cooking this chicken. And like I said, because you're using this pre-marinated fajita chicken, you don't have to add salt. Okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to fill them up to 1-inch headspace on the top. You will adjust it for air bubbles, and then if you need to put any more of the chicken broth, then you can go ahead and do that. And you want to make sure that you don't overfill it, because if you overfill it, then the seal won't take, and you'll have to eat that chicken within a couple days. Alright, so go ahead and take any kind of stick here. Make sure it's clean. You can use chopsticks. You can use a knife, butter knife, whatever. What you want to do is you want to make sure that there's no air bubbles in there. Alright, so go ahead and take your hot lids right out of your hot water. Make sure that that water is not boiling, because then they will not work completely. And what you want to do is you want to go ahead and wipe off your lid to make sure that there is no residue or nothing on there, so that it will give you a nice tight seal. Go and put your lid on top and put the ring on till fingertip tight. Then you go ahead and put that into your pressure canner and process them. Alright, so go ahead and put your jars in there, get them all stacked up. Alright, so we have all of our jars in there. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put our lid on. And what you're going to do is you're going to have your lid with the corresponding arrows, make sure they're together. You're going to bring up the latches, and you're going to have the corresponding latch on either side tightened. So you just do that all the way around. You just make sure that you tighten the opposite one at the same time. Tighten them down slowly. You're going to make sure that your spout is facing away from anything that is wood or your wall or paint or anything like that, because the steam's going to be coming out and it will just rip that paint right off with the hot steam. So what you're going to do is you're going to let it vent for 10 minutes. As the steam starts coming up for 10 minutes, you're going to put on the weight of 10 pounds pressure. Put our weight on. I don't know if you can see it, but it says 10 pounds of pressure. Put that on top. And what you're going to do is you're going to let the dial get to 10 pounds. And as soon as it gets to 10 pounds, you'll just adjust the heat so that it stays on 10 pounds pressure. And you should hear the weight hiss about every minute, minute and a half. And it'll pop up and you'll hear the steam come out. And that just means that it's maintaining its pressure. So go ahead and process it at 10 pounds pressure for 75 minutes. Alright, so we processed it for 75 minutes. What you have to do is go ahead and turn off the heat and let the pressure come back down to 0. Once it hits 0, go ahead and unlock the latches after it's set for 2 minutes, and unlock the latches slowly so that you can put the jars on the cooling mat. Alright, so it's finished cooling. What we want to do is go ahead and start taking off all the clamps. Okay, so you want to make sure that you pull it off slowly, and then you're going to go ahead and pull your cans out. Okay, pull your jars out, put them on your cloth on the counter, and as you see, they're boiling right now. So what they're going to do is they're going to be boiling for a while, and what you're waiting for is the top. You're waiting for it to click and recess in. That means that it is pressurized and that it is ready to be saved and sealed for up to 1.5 years. Alright, so we have our canned meat fully cooked. You're just waiting for all of the lids to click and pop. And what you're going to do is, after these are done, you'll let them sit overnight for 24 hours. After that happens, go ahead and take the rings off, clean the jars if need be, and label them with the month, the year, and what's in them. And so we'll label these with dark meat chicken and with the month and year that we did it. Thanks for watching with me. If you get a chance, subscribe, comment, rate these videos. Let me know what you'd like to see, if there's anything you'd like to see canned. And, you know, there's more to come. Thanks. We'll talk to you later.